Hello dear students and all viewers, welcome to my channel English Literature and Linguistics, a channel for literature lovers. Hope this video finds you all in your good health. This video is titled as Ekphrasis in English Poetry. So without any delay, let's be to our topic. So what is Ekphrasis and poetry? The word expresses or expresses comes from the Greek language for the written description of a work of art produced as a rhetorical or literary exercise, often used in the adjective form ekphrastic. James Heffernan, in his book Museum of Art, defined it in these words: the verbal representation of visual representation means that representing a painting or of sculptures in words. In the definition from Collins Dictionary is a description of a visual work of art. The Princeton Encyclopedia of Poetry and Poetics expresses in these words a detailed description of an image, primarily visual in specialized form, limited to description of a work of visual art, and became a key part of the art of description in poetry, hagiography, romance, and novels. After knowing expresses, let's see some example from poetry. Stay with me, keep watching please. As an example, I have here these 7 poems from very famous poets. The first one is Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. The second is My Lost Duchess by Robert Browning. And the third is On the Medusa of Leonardo da Vinci in the Florentine Gallery by Percy Bysshe Shelley. And the fourth is Brill Ventures by Walter de la Mare. The fifth is from Anne Sexton, The Starry Night. The sixth is the Iliad by Homer. And the seventh is In the Musée des Beaux-Arts by W.H. Auden. Let's introduce them briefly one by one. Stay with me. Keep watching, please. Ode on or Grecian Urn. This beautiful ode is written by John Keats and is considered to be the most original example for an Ekphrasis. It is a verbal description of a visual work of art. This rhetorical device is inspired by Horace's Latin phrase "Uti pectora poesis," literally meaning poetry is like a picture. And according to this, if poetry is to be like a picture, then by natural transition it might very appropriately be about a picture. That is to say, the descriptive power of words, their magical capacity for evoking visual images might will be applied to vision, which are themselves artful, namely to painting and sculpture. Let's proceed to the next one. The next one is My Lost Duchess by Robert Browning. My Lost Duchess is one of the most dramatic monologues by Robert Browning. In this poem, Browning focuses on a portrait of his wife which is hanging on the wall before him. The poem reveals his own narcissism and describes how he was too protective of his beautiful wife. He even believes that he is partly responsible for the death of his wife. The poem is, though complicated, but is very beautiful description of this portrait. One should read. The next one is on the Medusa of Leonardo da Vinci in the Florentine Gallery. This poem narrates the story of Medusa, and this story comes from Greek mythology and defines her as being a monster with venomous snakes that replaces her hair. Integral to her story is that anyone who looks at her face turns to stone. She is often described as being both a terrible creature and a beautiful maiden. Medusa was first introduced in the Fairy Queen by Edmund Spenser, and in this poem, Shelley has also described her very beautifully. You must read the poem to enjoy its beauty. The next one is Bruegel's Winter, which is written by Walter de la Mare. This poem describing a painting by Peter Bruegel the Elder. Peter Bruegel was a famous artist of Dutch and Flemish Renaissance painting, who was a painter known for his landscapes and peasant scene. Bruegel's Winter is a poem about winter's joy and how everything seems to cover in the white snow. The next poem is The Starry Night by Anne Sexton. Is the Iliad by Homer, and it is considered as one of the greatest literary works of all time. In the poem, the narrator describes the shield of Achilles in great detail. The description leaves no doubt in the reader's mind about just how amazing the shield is. The next poem I have chosen as example is in the Musée des Beaux-Arts by W.H. Auden. Is considered the top example of Ekphrasis. The narrator attempts to create a work of art with his work, focusing on the painting, the landscape with the fall of Icarus. A painting by Peter Bruegel. In the painting, a man is falling from the sky, but the ship sails fast as the man enters the water. It is an important statement on man's place in the world and the fragility of life. However, the author leaves much of the painting up to the reader's interpretation. The only purpose of this video was to introduce you to this beautiful topic in poetry. Hope you study further on your own interest. I'll place some book for further reading in the description box. And soon I will be with another useful topic with another video. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.